So I'm sitting down the whole video because yesterday I did a 12-mile tab and it took like 2 hours. A tab, if you people don't know, basically means that you put around 15 kilograms on your back and then you basically walk really fast up and down hills. Absolute killer. So sorry if there's no movement in this video. I'm gonna be stuck here probably till after the video because I can't even move my legs. So today I just basically thought I'd make this video just showing what I have in my camera bag as an amateur filmmaker, because obviously you see all these professionals that post on YouTube about all their camera gear and what's in their camera bag, but it's all like the most expensive stuff. So I just thought I'd basically show what I use and what I've purchased, because this isn't my main income. This is just something I like to do for fun. So these are just things that I've bought along the way. It's accumulated over like 3 years. I'm not really hot on buying like new equipment. I just don't really do it a lot. I mean, the biggest purchase that I've made so far was actually this year. It was actually a couple of weeks ago, and that's a brand new camera, which is the Sony A7 Mark III, the A7 III. I'm absolutely in love. Massive investment, but this is basically a video for people that are amateur filmmakers, but they have the vision to become sort of professional one day and actually make this like a full-time thing. Yeah, basically I'm gonna go into it, enjoy. I hope that it helps some of you guys, but I'm just basically gonna put them in the description. Everything that's in my bag, I'll stick in the description so you can check them out. I'll probably link them on Amazon so you can have a little look and purchase them yourself if it was something that you've been looking for. But anyway, let's get right into it. Bosh. So first of all, first thing we'll bring up is this camera bag, right? I actually got it as a gift, so I don't actually know the price, but I'll look it up. I think it's probably from Amazon. Camera bag, essential. It's probably the thing you need the most. This is basically the first camera bag I've actually ever had. Before I had like a little like man bag thing, and it was just the moodiest thing ever. Like I had one strap, it was flinging around like this. I'm just not interested. So I got myself an actual rucksack camera bag, proper camera bag. It's got all the compartments in it. It's a lovely bit of kit. I'm really happy with it. Like, I know camera bags can be really expensive. I'm not sure how much this one is, but go click the link below, have a little look. And yeah, it's a naughty bit of kit and I really enjoy it. That's the camera bag. This video is probably a little bit overdue because for the last 4 years I've had a Canon 70D and I've filmed everything up till this video. I filmed everything on my Canon 70D. So if you've watched any of my previous videos, it was on that Canon. I feel like I outgrew it a little bit. I mean, it couldn't film slow-mo, so it couldn't do 120 frames per second. Yes, I could have done 24 frames per second and then done optical flow, slowed it down that way, and that's what I did. But I was just ready. I'm ready to make different types of content now. I really wanted to use 120 frames per second to get that smooth slow-mo. I wanted to start shooting in 4K, which I'm doing right now. This video's in 4K. So yeah, I just thought it's worth the investment. I kind of grew out of it. But for the last 4 years, I used the Canon 70D and it done me perfectly. I mean, 4 years, never had any issues with it. Wait, the ice cream man's just pulled up. Yeah, so I never had any issues with it. The only problem was it only filmed 24 frames per second. The lenses I have are, well, actually I've got it here. This is the sort of bag I had before. It's like a little satchel and it's guff. This little beaut, Canon 70D. This here, solid camera. Autofocus is spot on. The two lenses that I had were the 18 to 55, the kit lens, and 10 to 18. So for that wide angle juiciness. The one thing that this A7 III doesn't have, which this one does have, is a flip screen. That's the one thing that's absolutely sick about this. But the autofocus on this was great. It's a perfect vlogging camera. It is a bit heavy. You could probably buy something a little bit cheaper or around the same price, but not as heavy. I mean, it is a bit of a bulky thing. It's a great camera and I'm looking to sell it as well. So if anyone's keen, I'm gonna be selling this with the two lenses, name a price and we'll negotiate it. That was my first camera I ever bought and I've used that ever since, and that is an absolute like sweet as camera. It's so good. Then obviously I've now moved on to the A7 III. So this is not an amateur camera. The one I'm using right now is not an amateur camera. It is a professional camera. So I wouldn't recommend buying this as your first camera, especially if you've never done any sort of like filming before, you don't know anything about cameras, just because you won't need it at the moment. Something like that's perfect. But I would, if you want sort of slow-mo, I would look at getting a camera that can film at 60 frames per second at 1080p or at 120 frames per second, because that's when you're gonna get that buttery smooth footage. Coffee time. Right, so going into my current bag and what I'm using right now, the gear that I'm going to be using going forward to whenever the next step is. An SSD, very recently purchased this. This is in my camera bag purely because if I ever need to leave the camera stuff at home, but I need some certain footage, I'll whack it on this SSD. I recommend getting this one. This one's actually sweet as. It was around sort of £88 and it's amazing for editing. Stick all of your footage onto this hard drive from the SD card in the camera to this. Stick this onto your MacBook or on your iMac, or when you go into sort of Final Cut or Premiere Pro, input the files from the SSD, and then what it will do is the read and write speed will be so much faster. It will put less stress on your camera's hard drive. Basically, it just gives for a smoother editing experience, really. I bought a case for it as well, didn't I? Got this on Amazon, it's about £5. And none of this stuff is absolutely essential. I mean, the only essential things really I'll be getting into, which is I've got myself a Rode mic Pro. I think it's a Rode Video Mic Pro, something like that. Sorry if I get it wrong. Like I said, they'll be in the description, you can check them out. This one here, absolute lifesaver. It's the first mic I've ever bought. Bit of an investment, it's a bank, I think it's about 150 quid. It might be a bit cheaper. 9-volt battery in it, and then you're away. I haven't had to change, I've had it about a year and a bit now, and I've filmed quite a lot. Haven't had to change battery since. Really easy to use. This is the mic I'm using right now. So, do I sound good? Do I come across clear? If so, get your mitts on one of them because they're lovely. The next thing in my camera bag, and this is included in the camera bag, just a waterproof cover for those horrible rainy days. Put over your camera bag because you don't want your £2,500 camera to get wet, do you? So make sure that's in there. And if you don't have one, purchase a waterproof thing for your camera bag just in case it's a bit shitty outside, basically. Next one, it's actually on there right now, is the Sigma 16mm 1.4 lens. Oh, it's an absolute beauty. I absolutely love it. But yes, I know it's not a full framed lens. Bit of a nightmare. Basically, my camera, just to put it into sort of easier terms, the camera that I've got now, which is the A7 III, is a full frame censored camera. Basically, what happens is, although it's a 16mm lens, it goes into crop mode on the camera because it's not a full frame. So if it was to go full frame, you'd see that vignette. I can't remember what it's called. Basically, you'll see it like where it's black in the corners. Basically, the camera puts the lens into crop mode, and what that does is basically zooms the footage in a little bit more. So this lens really is like a 24mm, but it is actually a 16mm. It's just because it's on a full framed camera, but it still works. I'm gonna be honest with you, this camera was about £1,700. I can't afford one of the Sony native lenses that are like full frame lenses, just because they're like more expensive than the camera body itself, and I just wasn't prepared to spend like £4,000 on a camera yet. So I ended up going for this lens. Does a job, love it. Like, you can get that sweet bokeh, and it costs about £400, and I got it as a gift from my lovely girlfriend, so I love her a lot. You can't go wrong. Can't go wrong. Yeah, it's not full frame, but that's all right. It does what I need it to do, and it was about £400, which is still quite expensive for a lens, but it's still like it's a great lens, and it's sturdy, feels nice. If you want to invest in a really good camera, but then you're like, oh, the lenses are just so expensive, check out Sigma. Sigma do some naughty lenses, and they're really good prices as well. Next thing, Bosh. Got Joby Gorillapod. Is that right? Gorillapod? You know what I mean. It's up. I'll link it below. You know the drill. Yeah, Joby Gorillapod thing. You know what? It's good, right? You're taking it, you're vlogging, doing all this stuff. But I just think it's like well flimsy, like, because this camera's a little bit heavy, to be fair, and like it just, don't know, just like that to me. That's not very. If I might be doing something wrong, if anyone's got one of these bad boys and they know how to use it better than me, do you know what I'm saying? What the hell has happened here? Surely not. You're gonna put your £1,500 camera on something that literally pops off like that? Not interested. People rave about these, and I just think I might just have a faulty one. Because look at that. That's broken, isn't it? That is well shit. That is so bony. Mine's a bit busted, to be fair. They are normally quite good though. So basically they're good for vlogging. I'll probably use, no chance of my leaving my camera on this like without my hands on it. I can still use it like that. It's good for on the go sort of vlogging and stuff. I recommend doing it because obviously if you do want to take your camera out and you want to be, you know, talking and doing all your stuff around town, I recommend one of these. But yeah, just be careful because, do you know what I mean? I think they're quite expensive, to be fair, as well. I mean, again, I got it as a gift. So, yeah, basically, I didn't buy any of my camera gear. No, I'm joking, but well, I'm not really. But I'm actually not using any lights today. I'm just using a natural light. Well, I've got this little thing here behind me, but I ain't got no artificial lighting behind me. One thing that I will say, these are the musts, I reckon. Probably put it down to 3 things, right? A microphone. If you're gonna buy anything, if you've got 200 quid spare, right? You've got your camera, you've got 200 quid spare, or £100 spare, £150. Around that sort of limit, and you're like, I can only buy one thing. I'm gonna go with a mic. I'd have invested in a mic. Honestly, boys and girls, that's really gonna enhance your filming quality. And then I'd secondly probably say, I'd say lighting, but I don't actually have a lot of lighting. I need to get one of these big lighting rigs, but they are quite expensive. I'm just gonna wait till, oh, it's a fly dodging about somewhere. Invest in lighting. I need to invest in lighting, especially now I've got a good camera and I'm using picture profiles. I do need to get some good lighting, but I've got a little bit of a lighting rig. It's all right, does the job. I'm looking to get some more, so Amazon is the way forward for lighting. I think I found a nice little deal on there. Thirdly, I'd probably go with a good lens. The body, if you can purchase the body secondhand, like for instance that Canon 70D, and then maybe just invest in a nice lens. Starting off, just get yourself a nice wide angle lens, or even like an 18 to 55 that comes with a kit lens, or a tripod. Probably a tripod, to be fair. Lens or tripod. Tripods are much cheaper than lenses, so do the math. Whatever you can, purchase, just grab one of that. Oh, there's one thing, bear with. Oh, this little thing here. Get a load of this. So, I've only used this a handful of times, I'm gonna be honest. This is not a must-have. I don't even have it in my camera bag, I just wanted to show you. It is a Osmo... Don't worry about it then. An Osmo Mobile by DJI. I don't even know if it's charged. Basically, it's a gimbal for your mobile. I spent 110 quid on this at the Apple store. Wasn't the most smartest choices I've ever taken. I mean, I could have just put that money towards like a Ronin or an actual gimbal for my camera. But instead, I did it for the mobile. So if you need a gimbal for those smooth shots, there are ways of doing it handheld. But if you're on a budget, you've got a project coming up, or you've got something that's coming up and you want to get that sort of as smooth as possible footage, right now you can't afford a gimbal, like a proper good gimbal. This is, I think this is about 90 quid now. You can pick it out for. Has it got any battery? Has it L? I ain't used it in about a year. I'll tell you what though, it's good. Especially if you got like one of these new iPhones as well. If you've got one of these new iPhones that have proper good, like, 4K footage, isn't it? You can film in 4K. Whack it on this bad boy. Got yourself some nice footage on your mobile. So that's another thing that's just nice to have, but it's not really an amateur. It's just, I don't really know what it's for really. It's just for anyone. This is an anyone product. I don't really have much else. This is an amateur camera bag. It's just getting me started. Another thing that I recommend you do, get a couple of batteries, especially if you're going to be filming all day, doing a project for someone or a wedding or anything like that. You're going to need more than one battery. So I recommend getting a battery as well. So funny, right? So me and my girlfriend, we were bored one day, and so we built a den in the bedroom, and I got some footage of that, and this was all filmed with this Sony a7 III. Literally, I just got it out of the box, whipped it out, and I was like, right, let's just film this. So I filmed a little segment here, just a little bit of B-roll, a little bit of twinkly and editing on it. So have a little look, roll the clip. As you can see, the slow-mo, because obviously the TV was there, he had a little bit of flicker, a little bit of like twinkly flicker going on in the slow-mo bits. That's something I need to work on, aka need to get good lighting. But I'll tell you what though, it was dark in there, and this A7 III held up, so it's got really good low light, so I'm well gassed about that. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. This coffee's, whoa, Baltic now. I hope it was insightful in some way, and I hope it helped one of you guys on picking some new equipment for going forward and when you want to film some cool stuff. These are the brands and the products that I personally trust and love. And yeah, get filming. But anyway, I will see you guys very, very soon. Leave a like if you liked it, leave a dislike if you didn't like it, and I'll see you in the next few days to a week. Anyway, I'll see you in a bit. Love ya.